Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. It is December 31st, 2016, New Year's Eve. Let's take a look ahead and talk about what's coming soon. It's been a while since we did a look ahead. If you are new to the channel, these videos are basically channel updates. I like to give you a glimpse of what to expect in current time slots, as well as what might be coming soon in those time slots, as well as give a state of the channel discussion where I share some of my thoughts and respond to some of yours. So the first thing I'd like to do, as I always do, is say welcome to all of the new subscribers that have joined the channel just over the past couple of weeks. And I'll talk about this later in the video, but we have, as a result of Polish Winter, but also Trilarian Trickery, and even Return of the Terrible Terrans, but starting with Trilarian Trickery, we have experienced such a windfall of new members of the community, and it's really, really exciting to have all of you here. So I wanted to take this moment to just say hello to all of you, formally, as a group, and welcome to the channel. We're going to talk more about the community as I get into this look ahead, but I'm really, really glad that you're here. I've interacted with a lot of you in the comments already, and it's been a lot of fun. So I just want to say, again, thanks for subscribing, for participating in the community, and of course for watching the videos. So since it's been a while since we did one of these, you might kind of be wondering, why has it been so long? It's been the end of September since we've done a look ahead, and I usually do these every couple of months. So what's the deal? Actually, it was kind of by design. It wasn't just me being busy, although I was. That was the other aspect. But I actually made a decision to go ahead and shift the look aheads to be in the even months instead of in the odd months, because me being in academia, when you think about the fact that the odd months contain the month of November and the month of May, there are look-ahead months which unfortunately coincide with some of the busiest times of the year for anyone who is teaching and in the academic world. So I decided, well, you know what? Let me go ahead and just move this one back a little bit, and that way we're going to have them in December, then we're going to have them in February, then we'll have one in April, then we'll have one in June. So it'll be generally in months that are more workable for me as a period of time where I can sink an extra day pretty much into making one of these videos, because I don't rush these. I like to script them a little bit, although I am speaking off the cuff right now. I know in general what I want to say, but I have to know what I'm going to say in advance, and I generally like to do AMAs as well, which is another thing I wanted to talk about. I started this with the last look ahead, and here I am with the next one not doing it. It's not for lack of wanting to, it's just I needed to get this one out, and obviously it's been the Christmas holiday and everything's been really slammed. So normally what I would do is I would put out a video announcing, hey, we've got a look ahead coming up, it's going to be this week or maybe next week. Let me know what your questions are. Ask me anything about the channel. Ask me about a series. Ask me about a particular game that you might wonder if I'm ever going to play. And it becomes a great way for the community to interact with me and with each other through these videos, which doesn't always happen as much during series. I mean, I've been blessed and cursed over the past month or so with several days where I was recording kind of content day to day. I don't normally do that, guys. I like to record stuff in advance and have kind of a very tight schedule that I keep each week to where I maintain my sanity. But when I get a little bit behind, I can't get all of my recording done in the amount of time that I normally like to, so I ended up recording throughout the week. And for a period there, especially when Polish Winter was beginning, when Trilarian Trickery was going, you actually had the luxury, which is a rare thing on my channel, of commenting, kind of knowing, not that you literally knew this, but you could comment, and in my very next episode, I would be able to respond to that comment on the previous episode, which is normally not the case because I normally record in chunks. So that's something that has just been going on. It's a little bit hectic. As the new year is falling into place here, I am going to get myself back on a schedule. So one of the reasons these look aheads are great is they give us that sense of direct interaction that you can't actually always get from the actual video interaction with me. Yes, I will always bring up commenters that made good points, and I will do stuff, but it's not always timely. But with these, there's a specific purpose to them. It's, hey, here's an AMA, ask me what you want to ask me, and then I will be happy to talk about it with you and with everybody, which it's a lot of fun. So I'm not going to do it this time just because I want to cover a lot of ground, and I wanted to get this out in December, and everyone's just been busy with the holiday. So that's that. But in lieu of actually having the AMA, I will try and be as detailed as possible with some of this other stuff that we have to go over. So speaking of things that I'm doing a little bit differently this time, the opening of the video is where I usually invite everyone to check out the channel and community mini-series, but we have a new channel and community video incoming. I wanted to make it one video instead of several. It's kind of dated at this point. I wanted to make it a lot snappier and simpler. I made the channel a community miniseries to where you could just click on one video in an entire series, depending on which social media you were most interested in using. But now I think it might actually be even more effective to have one video, period, and then, as I do in some of my other patch coverage and channel discussion videos like this one, just give you the opportunity to click around the timeline of the video based on the timestamps that are shown on the screen. I think that actually might be more effective, but I will be putting that out in the next week or two. I hope. It's something I want to put out while my schedule is a little bit simpler, and it always is in January, thankfully. So in lieu of that, what I want to do to kick off this video, this look ahead, is actually show you around the channel really quick so you can get a sneak peek of the kinds of things I'm going to go over. This is going to be really fast. I'm going to go over it in more detail in the formal video. But the reason I want to cover it is that these social media outlets, not so much the YouTube channel, but the social media outlets that are connected to the YouTube channel, are still in kind of a nascent, maybe even you might say cocoon stage if you want. But they're going to be increasingly important for those of you who like interacting with me and with one another, because there are more comments coming in every day. The channel itself is going to kind of lose coherence as a community center as time goes on, because there's going to be more and more people just talking on the videos, and there's less of a sense of you're in a small room, and it's more of a sense of you're in a big room with a lot of people, and there's less of a feeling of an ability to interact. So these social media channels are really, really important to me, and they're going to be important to you guys going forward. So when you want to go beyond commenting and you really want to talk to me and interact with me and interact with other people, you know, what I'm about to go over is going to be very useful to you. Again, this is going to be really fast, but I want to start here with just the YouTube channel and give you a bit of an introduction to how this is set up, just in case you haven't really familiarized yourself with how I've got everything laid out and how you can experience the channel. Very first thing you should know, if you actually want to receive push notifications, as in your phone or tablet vibrates the same way you would if you got an email or a text message, once you're subscribed to the channel, you can actually go even further than subscribing by clicking this little bell icon here. You can send all notifications for this channel or any channel. If you want a Hadrian notification device, whatever channel you might want to actually receive notifications of, so that anytime I put out a video, especially if it's off the schedule like this one and it's not a video you're necessarily anticipating, you can receive a notification. This is something that I hope most of my longtime subscribers are already doing, because as you guys know, I do subscriber alerts every once in a while, whether it's just to notify you that a certain time slot is going to be dark, there's going to be a change to the schedule, or just something else. Maybe there's a notification of an AMA for a look ahead, for instance. That's how you can find out about these first without having to, you know, rely on YouTube to get the notification to you immediately. So, well, you are still relying on YouTube to get the notification to you immediately, but it's actually going directly to your phone in the form of a push notification. And of course, you can manage the settings. So if you don't want a push notification, but you want an email, so maybe you don't want an actual notification from the YouTube app, but you don't mind an email popping up and letting you know, you can do that, or vice versa, whatever you want. So that's the first thing I want to make sure you know about, just so that you're clear on how that works. Of course, once you're subscribed to the channel, this part right here is where you can actually see the latest episodes. Actually, tell you what, let's refresh so that you can see this. And this is what you would typically see when logging into the channel. And of course, over here, we've got a number of channels you might want to check out. These are just my featured channels, YouTubers that I've always respected or appreciated, or that are my friends directly. So those are just some people you should check out if you have a moment. And then the way I've got the front page of the channel laid out now is it's made to be extremely accessible and also convey a lot of information. So you can see not what's in the noon slot and how long the current series is going to be running before we switch to something else in the noon slot. You can see what's in the 6 p.m. slot. So these are the two main time slots right away and how long they're going to be running. You can also click this link to jump right into watching the playlist view from the first episode. So it's a way to just jump in and start from the beginning by clicking these links. And then, of course, anytime I have a bonus series at 9 a.m. or 3 p.m., we have right now Return of the Terrible Terrans. And then any series that is returning, notice 8 Ages of Rome will be returning January 10th, will be down here. I don't always have a return date. Actually, I do have a return date for Song of the Stars set up, and we'll be going over that a little bit later on. But, of course, Lord of the Scots, I don't quite have a return date for that yet, but any series that's still ongoing will be listed here. And then this is every single playlist that I've ever created down here. So if you want to see just the history of the channel, you can either go through them this way, or you can click View 23 More here and actually see the full list of playlists from the beginning of time. And then down here, we also have the look aheads. So this is a time-ordered list of all the channel updates. If you want a little bit of a history lesson on the channel, you can feel free to dive through those. And last but not least, you can check out what my channel's most popular videos have been just by coming down here and taking a look. So that's the YouTube channel in a nutshell. I don't really think there's anything more that needs to be covered there, but what I want to jump into now is anytime you want to actually get more involved with the community, you can follow these links up here. There is also a Facebook page, but the Facebook page is heavily connected to the Twitter page. So anything I post on Twitter will generally get mirrored over on Facebook. I will still interact with people individually on Facebook as well, but you should know that it all kind of comes from Twitter originally, just saying. So that's why it's not listed here, is it's really just kind of redundant. But first of all, there's the subreddit. This is reddit.com/r/HadrianLP. You can sign up for a Reddit account right here using this link. It's very, very fast and you're done. And I don't even think there's a notification or a email verification process. But I mean, there could be. There usually is for spam protection and such. But the point is, it's very fast and easy. All you do is fill this in and you're set. Of course, it's completely free. And then you can actually subscribe to this particular subreddit. We have 35 right now. Again, very nascent stages. But this entire page is just intended for people to come and ask questions of me, of each other, to discuss the games that they like. So we've had people come and, bring up a Discord server. We had people ask about Subnautica. But the point is that the more people come here, the more kind of opportunity for questions and good discussion there will be. So check out the subreddit when you get a chance. If you don't really want to use external websites, but you're a Steam gamer, then the next opportunity is probably going to be of most interest to you, and that's the Steam group. You just type in Hadrian when searching groups, and you'll see it. You'll recognize the channel logo, I hope. We have 82 members in the Steam group right now, and you can come over here to the discussions page, and this is actually a forum in and of itself. So we've got a few topics going right now. We have an introductions thread, so be sure to post here when you hop in, just to announce yourself and let people know that you're here. And then, of course, you can come over here to see what the other members are. If there are ever any channel events, they'll be listed here. And then, of course, we have a curator page as well. I have a curator page, so any games that I recommend will be listed here. I haven't really done too much with the curator in a while, but that is something that you can follow through the Steam group as well. So that's Steam. The Twitter page. Okay, Twitter, of course, is not a social media hub per se. It's not, it's not like a place where you can log into a forum and start discussion posts. But if you follow me on Twitter, and again, my Twitter handle is HadrianLP, same as with the subreddit and same as with the channel itself, then what you can do is not only can you tweet me directly there and you can interact with me. Twitter is probably where I interact most with people right now. But also, if you're ever going to talk about the channel, if you're going to post about something, about a video that I made, something that you're watching, use the channel hashtag LPQR. That's, of course, a clever little, well, not very clever, but it's a play on SPQR, which is a Roman abbreviation for the Senate and the people of Rome. So LPQR, just LP is for Let's Play. So that's what I've used kind of for a while as kind of a way to link all of the posts about the channel together. So if you ever do find yourself posting about a video or just wanted to communicate with the other people on Twitter, then one thing that we can do to help build a sense of community on Twitter is using that hashtag. So just as a heads up there, again, if you want to follow me, it's twitter.com/HadrianLP. And then finally, last but not least, I'm not going to talk a lot about this, but this is the Patreon page. I have actually put a video up for Patreon. So rather than talk about this at all, I'm just going to link it on your screen right now. If you want more information about supporting the channel directly and my argument for why you might want to do so, feel free to check out that video. So, okay. All that having been covered, I did not script any of that. I was really just trying to make sure that I covered all that ground in the beginning here. Let's talk about the time slots and the pipeline for each. Here is my current schedule. Let's talk about the grand strategy slot first. First, I want to talk about how things are currently going in the current series. We have Polish Winter right now in this grand strategy noon slot, and my God, this has been the runaway success of this has been such a surprise to me. And I'll talk about this more when I get into kind of more of a state of the channel type discussion. But Polish Winter is going really well. I really, really have just so thoroughly enjoyed all of the people that have come in to interact with me through that series, whether you're from Poland or just a Civilization fan. It doesn't matter. I've enjoyed everyone for so many different reasons. People coming in to help me learn how to pronounce the names of Polish cities and just to give gameplay suggestions, and Civilization as a IP, as an intellectual property, and as a game, because it's so popular, it's not very common. And I say this with the utmost, I don't mean to boast here at all. It's not very common for small channels like mine to be able to rank well when it comes to Civilization content. And the fact that we have with Polish Winter has just been extraordinary. and I'm so excited to see what the future will bring for this series. The series right now, I would imagine, is probably going to be... I mean, if you look at what we've got ahead, I've got it scheduled out to this Monday, and then 8 Ages of Rome will resume after that. But this is completely arbitrary. I don't know. I mean, I just recorded episode, 10 through 12 when I got home from break. So I've recorded through the weekend. And as you can see here, I've got that recorded. And then we still need to record these. But I don't know that we're going to reach 20. But we're going for a science victory, and that series has been going really well. So I really wanted to just take this moment to say thanks to everyone for watching Polish Winter and for participating in that, because it's far and away, it's the biggest hit series I've ever had on the channel, which has just been awesome. As far as what else I have in the 12 p.m. slot right now, Polish Winter's going right now, but also I have 3 other ongoing series in the noon slot right now. That's a bit of a high number for me. 8 Ages of Rome, of course, is going to continue after Polish Winter. That is a modded Let's Play as Rome in Civ 6 that I had to stop because of a crash bug after the fall update, but now that the winter update has happened, I've tested the save again, and the game is working again. The game is still suffering from some crashes, and I'm not the only one. I'm not the only Let's Player, even, that's had to end series on account of the crashes. But I do want to resume 8 Ages of Rome because I like to start what I finish, so we're going to resume that after Polish Winter concludes, whenever that might be. So again, right now that's scheduled for January, 10th? As if, assuming that Polish Winter goes to a full 20 episodes, because that's when I would change the slot regardless, because that's, again, how my content works. But 8 Ages of Rome, who knows how long it will go after that. And then on top of that, we still have Russian Sunrise to finish, so I will probably jump into Russian Sunrise after we return to 8 Ages of Rome and finish off that series. And then finally, we have Lord of the Scots, which I don't have on the schedule right now, but as soon as the Civilization Furor kind of subsides a little bit, and I get a general sense that, okay, we need to diversify this content a little bit, because I'm still really enjoying playing Civ. The only reason I brought back Eternal Empire was because of the problem with 8 Ages of Rome, so that provided a great opportunity, because now I've finished that series, and that's one series that I don't have ongoing anymore. And I'm really happy, by the way, with how Eternal Empire ended. That was a series... My gosh, that was a series that I wanted to do from the very beginning of this channel. You know, I started the channel with a Rome series in Total War Rome 2, but I told myself, man, it would be awesome to play as the Eastern Roman Empire, or Western, but just as one of the Roman Empire factions in Attila, and bring the Empire back, because that's even more intense and more watchable. It's a nice alternate history campaign, and we did it. And it took a while, but it was a lot of fun, and I really, really enjoyed it. And the glitch with 8 Ages of Rome kind of freed me up to be able to do that. So now that I'm able to play Civ again, I'm going to for a while. But once that kind of furor has died down, by the way, you can count on Civ content consistently. Civ is going to remain in the 12 p.m. slot probably for most of this year. I should be very clear about that. But it's going to start alternating with other games. And one of the first things it's going to alternate with is finishing up Lord of the Scots, because this is a series that is really, really important to me. It's been a lot of fun and has brought in some really great subscribers that I'm very glad are here. So I want to make sure that I return to that series before too long and finish it up. So as far as my future plans for the 12 p.m. slot and what else I'm thinking with where this slot could go, I obviously, like I said, I want to do more series in Civilization. I want to do expositions of new content like the Polish Winter series. I want to do patch coverage. I want to do a tutorial series at some point in the future, maybe once there's a little bit more, maybe after the first expansion is out. Who knows? I might wait on the tutorial series, but then again, you know, I can really do it whenever I want, just based on when the timing feels right. So as far as Total War, I do also want to do more Total War coverage this year, which would mean more historical Total War content. I really don't play Total War Warhammer. I've had some people ask me about this. I own it. I've tried it. It hasn't ever really grabbed me. I'm just not a fan of the lore. I love fantasy, by the way. I had one guy say, well, you should watch some Lord of the Rings. This commenter has stuck with me. I wasn't mad at him at all. I just thought it was hilarious because I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I've written fantasy before, so like I found it so amusing that someone would make that suggestion in that way. It's not that I dislike fantasy, I just don't like that particular breed of fantasy. I've never really gotten into it. So I'm going to stick to the historical Total War stuff. And also, you can count on Total War series being shorter in the future on the channel, because every Total War series I've done on the channel has been 100 or more episodes. And there's a point where it's just like, okay, seriously, this is too much. Or maybe Crown of Charlemagne was just shy of 100. But the point is, I want to go for objectives that would take 50 episodes or less. So they only run for maybe 2 parts. Part 1 being episode, 1 through 20, and then part 2 being episode 21 through 40, and then hopefully it'll be done within that time frame, or go a little bit longer than that, but not much longer is the point. So that's what I'm thinking in terms of future Total War content. And of course, more Crusader Kings 2. I have toyed with the idea openly of doing a Byzantium playthrough, restoring Rome that way in Crusader Kings 2, which would be a long ongoing series, which makes me nervous because every single time, including after I made this decision to try a Byzantium playthrough, that I have attempted it in Crusader Kings 2, I have rage quit every time. There are just so many factors, and I want to get better at the game to where it's not as frustrating to me. I've come a long way in Lord of the Scots, but obviously managing the Byzantine Empire is another animal entirely. So that's something I would like to do. I'm not like 100% that it's going to happen, being completely candid with you, but that is something that's on my agenda, so I wanted to go ahead and reaffirm that as something I'm definitely thinking about. And then, of course, last but not least, Europa Universalis 4. Still learning it. Arumba and Filthy Robot have put out a tutorial series. Arumba's tutorial series in Crusader Kings 2 is how I learned a lot of CK2. And of course, I've watched other stuff aside from that. And the Lord of the Scots series has been really instructional in and of itself. I would like to learn more EU4 when I get a chance and maybe incorporate that in the future. But with Civilization content, with Total War content already kind of having a following on the channel, I think what you might see is just kind of a defaulting in that direction, and I would get into CK2 more or EU4 more when I was feeling more experimental. So that's kind of where I am right now with the 12 p.m. slot. So that's it for the noon slot. As for the 6 p.m. survival, science fiction, and simulation slot, we have Against All Odds Season 3 running right now, and it's just been a blast so far. Interloper mode is so intense, and it's just pulse pounding to play, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to live. Hopefully I live as long as I have in some of the past seasons. Well, truth be told, I don't necessarily want to live that long because I don't want the series to run that long. I would be very happy with an Against All Odds Season 3 that was 50 episodes or less, because I found that generally once you get past the episode 20 mark, the only people that are going to be watching are the channel diehards who really want to see a series through to the end. But at that point, you're keeping the series going for the sake of finishing it and for the sake of the people that are still watching it. The new viewership and the things that help the health of the channel in the long run come mostly from the new series. Not to say that finishing series doesn't help the health of the channel, but there's a give and take there. So I do prefer shorter series, I think. Where I can, at least with my current way of looking at YouTube and the way I structure my schedule. So Against All Odds Season 3 has just been fantastic, and it's ongoing and will be ongoing until looks like next Friday, which actually, no, 2 Fridays from now. So actually 2 weeks from the day that I'm recording this. I'm recording this on the 30th. Of course, it's going to go live on the 31st. So that's going to go until that Friday. And then check this out. For those of you looking forward to more Song of the Stars, we are definitely bringing that back in the 6 p.m. slot after that. As far as the 6 p.m. slot and what I envision for it beyond the Long Dark right now, well, first of all, I really would like to do more Into the Locker in Subnautica. I want to do another non-tutorial, just sandbox Let's Play in Subnautica. Now that the game is almost released, I feel like it'll be time pretty soon to dive back for a Season 2 of Into the Locker. I was toying with the idea of making it a seasonal series when I was still playing it back in the day, and I still like the idea, and I think I'm going to return to that when I get the chance. So that's something you can look forward to, because I'm really excited. I want to learn Subnautica again. I was very frustrated during survival school because in the midst of recording a series in which I was trying to teach people the game, I found out just how much I didn't know about the newest versions of the game, and it was like, well, I'm not exactly the best teacher if there's a bunch of stuff I don't know. So I would like to kind of relearn the game, whether it's playing on my own and then doing a series, or playing a series and kind of learning through the series. Either way, it would be fun to do Into the Locker again. So that's something to look forward to. Also, once Against All Odds Season 3 has concluded, one of the things I would like to do, and I don't want to give more information than simply the fact that I'm thinking about it, but I want to do it sooner than later, is I want to go ahead and do a survival school series in the Long Dark, which I think I would really enjoy doing, and I think a lot of you would really enjoy watching. So I'm not quite sure when it'll happen, but I learned a lot about doing a kind of a survival school format with Subnautica, and so I feel like I'm really ready to jump in and do a playthrough of the Long Dark, maybe on Stalker difficulty, maybe not on Interloper, but probably on Stalker, and just showing how to survive, how to play, and just playing the game from a more instructional standpoint, where everything I do, I kind of explain as though I was explaining it to someone who was new to the game and trying to learn. So I think that would be a lot of fun. And whether or not I did a lot of like exploring the map and like showing people where to go, that could be an aspect of it, but really just it would be about the techniques and different ways that you can survive in the Long Dark. So that's something I'm really interested in doing. Also, I tried to do some more This War of Mine content recently, but right at the end of the first episode that I was recording, the game glitched out like horribly, like graphical glitches, and I have tabled it, but I would like to return to This War of Mine at some point because the Little Ones DLC came out, and I just feel like that would be something that really pulled on everyone's heartstrings. I think, honestly, I genuinely believe that This War of Mine is an important game. And I think watching people play it is an important exercise, because the experience of playing it and the experience even of just watching those stories unfold is, again, it's not a simulation. It's not at all faithful, realistically, to what people in war zones like Aleppo, for instance, are really going through. But at the same time, it's something that will make you think about those people in a healthy and human way. And that's one of the reasons I really love This War of Mine, not only playing it, but featuring it on the channel. Because it's the kind of game that makes you think. It's the kind of game that makes you feel things, which is what my channel is really all about. It's just This War of Mine takes it to a very real and at times painful place, but I still think it's an important, and even being able to get that kind of real perspective from an entertainment experience is a good opportunity to take. So This War of Mine is something that I'll return to in the future when I have the opportunity. Also, more Planet Base. I might actually play more Planet Base or games like it. Astroneer is something I want to check out as soon as I can. I really like Astroneer on the surface. I've played it a little bit, and I wish there were more internal environments. I'm surprised that they haven't done like base building. Base building even exists in No Man's Sky now, so who knows? I might mess around with the survival mode in No Man's Sky, and and I might return to the idea of playing that. I kind of abandoned it after realizing that the original game didn't really suit a Let's Play format, at least my channel's Let's Play format. But now that survival mode's there, I don't know. I might try a few runs and see how it goes, and maybe jump in with some of that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. But speaking of Planet Base and games like it, also City Skylines, any game with kind of a simulation aspect, I want to bring more to the 6 p.m. slot, because that's the third S. Again, we've got survival, we've got science fiction, which I've covered thoroughly in the 6 p.m. slot, but I haven't done as many raw simulation titles. City Skylines I've been talking about for like a year now, as far as, bringing it into the channel. I wanted to cover natural disasters when it came out, but just The Long Dark had some new stuff coming out, and that was kind of more of a priority for me because I've spent more time covering it. But I would like to do some City Skylines stuff at some point in the future, so that's what I'm thinking as well for the 6 p.m. slot. And then finally, now that I've covered the noon slot and the 6 p.m. slot, the 3 p.m. slot, which of course is a bonus slot, currently has Return of the Terrible Terrans playing. I have it scheduled all the way out until episode 20 here. Whether or not it reaches 20 episodes, we'll see. I mean, right now, as of the 10th episode being recorded, I really feel like the series could end within 5 or 6 episodes. We just, as those of you who have been watching it know, we have really just had a windfall with that particular series. And it's been a lot of fun to watch because the Connacht's just on a rampage, but they're on a rampage, and sooner or later they're going to win the game. So that's going to happen, I would imagine, sooner than 20 episodes. But after this series ends, for those of you who aren't aware of this, the 3 p.m. slot is a It's a bonus series for me. So after this, this slot will actually go dark again, and we'll go back to just content in the 12 p.m. and the 6 p.m. slot through the rest of January. And then it's not that I'll never have anything else at 3 p.m. or 9 a.m. When I have the opportunity, I'll record a mini-series to show off a new game or a game that I'm interested in playing, or maybe I'm fiddling with playing it in a full series at 12 or 6, but I don't know for sure. So I'll do a mini-series to kind of play around with it and see what people think of it, whether it gets a good amount of attention, and whether I enjoy playing it, and then maybe we'll bring it into the 12 p.m. slot or 6 p.m. slot later. So that's all that. Now that I've covered the schedule and that I've gone through all of that in kind of that rapid fire format where I've given you as much information as I can on what I'm thinking, I want to slow down for a second. And before I wrap this look ahead, I want to just talk about the state of the channel. Again, I've talked about the kind of content you can expect, but let me now just say a little bit about the channel in general and how things are going from my perspective. We have arrived at this wonderful place that I'm really happy with. 2 daily time slots that alternate series every 20 episodes. The ability to put out one-shot reflections on games or the industry, short mini-series as opposed to one-shots, or full bonus series like Return of the Terrible Terrans at other time slots when I'm able to record. I really feel strongly that this format is working and suits the channel well, and you can definitely expect it to be the format for the channel for the foreseeable future. I've really enjoyed having just 2 dedicated time slots and 25-minute episodes, because I really feel like that's the sweet spot where subscribers can really help keep up with as much content as they'd like. So if you're watching everything, then reasonably you could, if you were watching the channel every day, it might get a little bit tougher when I've got a bonus series going, but you can stay on top of it for the most part in that way if you're watching both series, or if you're watching one series or one type of game. And that's a great feeling for me, because I can't really produce much more content than that realistically anyway. So I feel like it's the sweet spot not only for the channel and it works well for everybody, but it also happens to be what works best for me. So I feel like with the constraints that I have on my time, I'm able to put out content in a way that is satisfying to people, and that's immensely satisfying to me. So the best part of all that is, in its current state, with that model, with this schedule, the channel is doing well. The channel is growing. So I just get this feeling that I've struck a chord with people, and I'm finding a rhythm that works for me and works for you. We've also had, as I mentioned earlier, we've had a number of hit series, particularly with Polish Winter, but also with Trilarian Trickery, which is amazing because it's tough for small channels to break into Civilization content. I think Polish Winter took off because I was able to put out a video just by sheer luck, by sheer dumb luck. Eternal Empire ended and I needed a Civilization 6 episode for the next day. I woke up from an afternoon nap because I was in the middle of my December craziness, and I had a notification, a push notification, because I have notifications set up the same way I showed you earlier for the Civ channel, and it said Poland. And I was like, I guess I know what my new series is going to be. So I was up for a good while getting Polish Winter 1 ready, but it was really great timing. And as a result of that, this little channel has done pretty well with Civilization content. And now I feel like I've got a number of you here ready to watch more Civilization, which is really, really great to me, because I've always loved Civilization and I've wanted to bring it in to the channel sooner. It's just, I mean, Total War's tough to get into as well, but I've played a lot more Total War than I have Civilization. So being able to break into that title is just, if you can't tell, it's immensely gratifying to me. And it's been a lot of fun playing Polish Winter and having also Trilarian Trickery do as well as it has. It's just been, we have had 1,000 new subscribers join the channel in the past month, which is unprecedented. And I want to express appreciation not only for the new subscribers and for those of you who are watching the videos and liking and commenting and supporting the channel, but also for the civility that everyone has been showing. Almost every single one of my new commenters and subscribers have been awesome to interact with. If you're indeed new here, you may not know how important community is to me, especially on the internet. I have been a part of some very niche gaming communities where the rules of conduct were very strict, and we kind of said to the greater internet, screw you, we know how negative you are, not here. Not here. It's not happening. And that has changed my perspective on what to expect from people in communities that I'm a part of, in communities that I have a little bit of control over, or a lot of control over, as happens to be the case here. And they're really, when I think about the channel, there's this phrase that I have: civility is expected, period. And it doesn't need to be, more deeply explained than that, but we're really about three things here. There's a strong sense of community, a sense that you are in a place where other people know you're here and they want you to be here, and other people know they are here as a community, and that community itself wishes to exist. It's a willful entity. But also constructive, positive interaction, which is kind of a passive expectation of a lot of people here, but also it's actively enforced. If you come in, and if someone comes into this channel and thinks that they can treat me like garbage, or treat any of you like garbage, especially, it's not tolerated regardless, but especially if we've never seen this person before and the first thing they say is just full of hatred and vitriol and bile, then that person is going to have an extremely hard time participating in this community. And that's really, really important to me as well. Just making sure that that everyone is looked out for, including me. And finally, a common passion is the final thing that brings us together. A common passion around the gaming experiences that we love. And the only thing that makes all of that work is that core ingredient of civility and people being amazing. And all of you are, and it's just awesome. It's so gratifying and amazing to me. I would really like to give credit for that. And I'd like to thank everyone for being a part of that and for being a part of it in the future. I'm so excited for what's to come. I really am. And on that note, I will go ahead and end this look ahead here. Thanks very much for listening. I want to emphasize, as I do always, that comments are welcome. In particular, because I did not do an AMA before this look ahead, ask me questions now. If there's something in everything I just went over that I did not cover, please let me know. And leave a comment down below. Start a thread on the subreddit. Start a thread on the Steam discussion group. Or just tweet me, #LPQR. Just get a discussion going. If there's something you would like to talk about with me or with the community in general. And then I will be happy to respond or let anyone else respond that wants to. So again, thanks very much for watching. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.